It is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. Welcome to the show. Hope your week is going good so far, even though it's been short. A lot of stuff to get to. I wanted to kind of do a run through of a couple of news items from yesterday and from the last couple of days that I haven't gotten a chance to talk about. Story from yesterday about Philip Dietz at worldofoutlaws.com. Philip is the crew chief for the Jason Johnson Racing 41 and is starting his own team this season, the 14 Dietz Motorsports machine. This kind of grew out of David Gravel's attempt to go jump in some NASCAR races. Gravel's going to run somewhere in the neighborhood, I think, of 6 to 7 truck races this year to try to maybe jumpstart a NASCAR career. And because of that, he's going to miss some races in the Jason Johnson 41. He's obviously going to continue running that car when he's not running NASCAR races, but there were going to be some shows that he was going to miss. So Jason Johnson Racing was, kind of in a situation where they're looking to figure out, who's going to drive the car. They're going to have a fill-in driver. And kind of what they ended up working out is when Gravel's not in the car, Parker Price Miller will be in the 41. And then a lot of those races, even though Gravel will be in the 41, they're going to have Parker Price Miller kind of in a second car under the Dietz Motorsports banner. So Parker Price Miller got to run somewhere north of 40 races in the 14 for Dietz Motorsports. I mean, interesting situation with Phil crew chiefing in the 41 and having the 14 because he's actually going to end up crew chiefing both cars. And we talked to Parker Price Miller in Open Red about this a few weeks ago. But Phil's going to be a busy guy. But, I think if there's, somebody in the garage area who could probably get it done, it's Phil. He's obviously has been an incredible crew chief over the last couple of years. And him and David had a lot of success last year. Won 12 races, the Knoxville Nationals, obviously a lot of success there between those two guys last year. And it'll be, it will not be surprising to see Parker Price Miller get up to speed fairly quickly in the 14 car, and then obviously be a solid fill-in when Gravel's not there. But go check that story out, worldofoutlaws.com. Has quotes from Gravel, has quotes from PPM, has quotes from Philip Dietz about the situation. And go check out that Open Red episode with Parker Price Miller if you haven't done that yet. A lot of good information and detail about how the deals kind of came together and kind of what they're looking like for goals and things like that. And obviously their first, past the first weekend of the season, they Gravel ran 2 nights at DIRTRACKR Nationals while PPM was in the 41 one car. And then obviously when PPM wasn't in the 41, he was in the 14. And it Graveled 2 quick times. Cars were in the top 5. Obviously fast out of the gate for the JJR and Dietz Motorsports cars. So sprint cars back in action. Still another week before we see them again. They'll be back in action March 13th at Cotton Bowl. And then that kind of kicks off that West Coast swing for the sprint cars. They'll run a couple of shows in Texas and then kind of start heading west and then roll through that kind of spring California swing, which we see often and traditionally on this part of the schedule. Another story from the World of Outlaws I want to talk about was some safety training they completed at Volusia during DIRTRACKR Nationals. ESI Racetrack Safety Services put on kind of a training seminar for these guys, and they were able to do actually a lot of hands-on things. They actually had a picture of some fire suppression stuff in the story, but they were doing some, activities around airway and hemorrhage management, helmet and Hans removal, fire suppression, and then controlled rollover. It shows, I think, the importance of safety and even a series like World of Outlaws and DIRTRACKR have and all of the experience that those officials and things have with safety and safety management, how important it is to kind of stay up on what's new and what's important and what fresh tools and techniques you can use. And so interesting to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes there of what those or what those officials had going on and things they can do to help the drivers better. And getting some extra training and things like that. And when you go to a lot of these racetracks, you don't have dedicated safety crews. A lot of times it's, just local firefighters and paramedics and they've got their local track officials and things like that can help out. So good to see them get some extra training and then be able to pass that on, as they go to their races throughout the season. And speaking of safety, I listened actually yesterday to the Rip the Fence episode with Dave Sharpley. Dave owns Sharp Advantage. They make seat inserts. He does knee guard. They have seatbelt accessories, lots of other products. And Dave was an IndyCar mechanic and worked in IndyCar for a long time, IndyCar crew chief, I believe. and has kind of started into, making seat inserts and things like that just as a side project, and has expanded into other things, and is involved with a lot of the World of Outlaws drivers, I think dang near all of them, and then has been doing a lot of work with midgets and other things like that. But a super interesting episode, kind of about safety and some things that drivers can do to make themselves safer while they're in the car. So definitely go check that out if you have a chance. The Rip the Fence episode with Dave Sharpley, I believe it's the most recent one on their feed. If you haven't checked that out yet, definitely go do that. World of Outlaws Late Model Series, they return to action this weekend at Duck River Raceway Park and Smoky Mountain Speedway. Brandon Sheppard won the most recent race at Duck River last season over Chase Youngins. Jimmy Owens will be looking to defend his win at Smoky Mountain from last season. I'm guessing, I see there's some talk about who won't be there, but I can't imagine Jimmy Owens will not be at Smoky Mountain. He held off Brandon Sheppard to win the Tennessee tip-off in 2019. Through 7 race nights so far in 2020, Brandon Sheppard leads the points by 32 over Darrell Lanigan. Ricky Weiss is 3rd, Chris Madden 4th, and Scott Bloomquist is 5th. If you'd like more information about those weekend shows, you can visit worldofoutlaws.com or watch both shows live on Dirt Vision. Those will be part of the Fast Pass. I added a bunch more races to the analytics section over the weekend. I'm currently up to 104 races. I still need to as I'm adding races, I'm up to the Knoxville Nationals in 2018, and the formatting of those races is a little bit different. So I have to do a little bit of extra work to get the Knoxville Nationals races in. So as I have time here over the next couple of days, I will get those done, and then get the rest of 2018 added. And I believe once I kind of get 2018 added, I'm going to branch out and maybe add some late model stuff to that. To the database and get some stats rolling for that also, because that's kind of like what I'm missing right now. Obviously, I just have the sprint car stuff and just have the World of Outlaws sprint car stuff, so I would like to jump out and expand into some other things, but wanted to point out a couple of stats that I was looking at. So I have races in Back to River Cities in August of 2018. 35 drivers have led laps in the last 104 races. Brad Sweet has led the most laps, 614. He has nearly 200 more laps led than Donnie Schatz. Schatz has led 434, but Sweet only has 3 more feature wins over that span. He has 22 wins to Schatz has 19. So I think interesting number there to kind of take a look at, that Brad has had obviously a lot of laps led, but just hasn't quite equated to as many wins as Schatz. Only 3 on the lap leader list of 35 drivers don't have outlaw wins. Trey Starks, Jacob Allen, and Tanner Thorson. Starks does have a prelim night at Knoxville, a prelim night win in Knoxville. That was last season. Jacob has led 80 laps, Trey Starks 21, and Tanner Thorson has a single lap led over the last 104 races. Interesting, I think, to look at that list and see, 104 races, you would, it almost seems a little bit surprising that only 35 drivers have led laps. You would almost think that it would be more than that, but the amount of talent, obviously, at the very top of those World of Outlaws races means guys like Brad and Donnie Schatz and Logan, especially here lately, and Darren Pittman and a lot of these guys are going to lead a ton of laps, obviously. So that means that there's not going to be as many laps available to lead to other drivers, but only 35 drivers and only 3 on that list without outlaw wins. Like I said, Jacob, Trey Starks, Tanner Thorson. Just shows you how difficult it is and how strong these fields are when so many guys have wins. And I was kind of looking through and seeing some of the names on that list have multiple wins over that span and multiple wins even beyond that past in their career. So tough on a night-to-night basis racing with the World of Outlaws. These stats continue to show that, and continue to show just how good guys like Brad Sweet and Donnie Schatz are, for all the success that they have on a night-to-night basis. If you'd like to see more of those stats, you can find that stuff at DIRTRACKR.com/analytics. I've been adding more and more to the offerings there, and we'll continue to do so. Also working on some predictive stuff, which I will hopefully debut soon as well. Nothing on the pay-per-view schedule today. Slow kind of week this week in terms of kind of Monday through Thursday. Nothing really on the schedule through the week, but a busy weekend again coming up, and we will talk about some of those races and shows coming as we get a little bit bit closer to the weekend. ASCS back in action, and like I mentioned here just a couple minutes ago, World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and some other things. The Shamrock Classic USAC show, indoor show coming up as well. We will talk about all of that as the week goes on. Thanks for tuning in today. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave me a review, and tell your friends. You can also watch the show on YouTube and Facebook. If you would like to follow along with DIRTRACKR, you can do that at facebook.com/DIRTRACKR and twitter.com/DIRTRACKR. You can visit the site DIRTRACKR.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and don't forget to sign up for that DIRTRACKR weekly newsletter. I sent edition number 2 out yesterday, so make sure you get signed up for that. Just sharing a couple of neat things through the week that I saw, whether it's highlight videos or a cool story or maybe some cool stats or things I found with DIRTRACKR Analytics. So check that out. If you would like to sign up for that, I will not spam you. It'll only be once a week, short and sweet. I'm not going to sell your email address or anything crazy like that. Just another way to kind of keep dirt racing fans up on what's going on and make sure you're not missing any cool stuff. Thanks for tuning in today. I will see you tomorrow on DIRTRACKR Daily.